Okay, today is Friday. It is 12:04 a.m. or it is 12:06 a.m. My wrist, my wrist is 12:05 and my computer is 12:06. Okay. So today is a Thursday. Today is a Friday. Okay, it's the fifth day of the trading. It's the fifth trading day of the week, and I briefly did a little search on it. Briefly did a little search on Eden. Okay, so according to the Bible, the Garden of Eden was a pristine, fertile paradise planted by God, serving as the perfect first home for humanity. Okay? All right? So that's Eden. Okay? That's the Eden. All right? So then I was in a dreamland like always I am. Always dreaming about uh essentially because the reality of getting C's in average reality bites. It really does bite. The reality of things just bites. Okay. Uh, these days, I don't mind like doing prep work because it's giving me hope for the prosperity that is about to come forth later on. Okay, because of the side work that I'm doing, and so what I noticed about so 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 reality can be a biting situation. It really is. Okay, because of my own doing. Okay, because of my own doing. So there's this guy who works at the restaurant now, and then he's from another country, and he was asking, well, he's it's good for his kids, but he prefers to be in Europe. And I said, well, you don't realize what is great about America, right? And I told him the greatest thing about being in America is the opportunity, right? There's no other place right now. Even criminals have opportunities everywhere. Okay, so that's why the federal government is trying to crack them down because you have so much fraud everywhere. Even criminals have opportunities in America. Okay, they defrauded billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. Right? Look at the think about this. The national debt is 39 trillion bucks. It's not if everybody was fiscal. Anyway, that's somebody else's business. Anyway, so then I thought to myself as I was in a dream world, thinking about the possibilities of and I thought to myself, and I told this another coworker. I said, "Look, do you know why bank robbers get caught?" And obviously, he's not going to know because the response that I give him will be uniquely from my perspective. And the uniquely from my perspective is the reason why they get caught is because they talk. Okay, they talk about that. That's why. Okay, that's why they do that because they have it's money. It's money right there. And so the reason I thought about that is because here I am um, on the eve of breaking out into trading, and I see the possibilities. I can dream it. I can like dream it. It's like the dream world has started to knock on my door. It's like it's like Lamborghini is starting to ring doorbell to my house. Okay, my house, which I don't even have yet, but Lamborghinis, Porsches, and those recumbent bicycles. Apparently, they're like 3 to 5 thousand bucks, right? And so they're knocking on my door. Harley Davidson is knocking on my door. Okay, all these things are knocking on my door, which are like encased in like dream kind of a situation. Because what happens is once I break into that situation, okay, once I break into it, the uh, monetary compensation is going to be immense. It's going to be enormous. The potential, uh, based on what I'm seeing now, as with the results, what will come forth will be tremendous. So here I am. I'm in a dream. I'm in this dream world, and 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 what then finally the reality hits. Okay, the reality hits, and I now need to understand what I need to do. Okay, aside from aside from protecting my mind each and every day, despite the fact that I'm essentially an isolated individual, because prep work, I just go there, do something, and I just get out of there. I mean, that's simple. I don't even have to talk to anybody. Okay, so the interaction that I perform is a need to be done kind of a basis, but there could be some sort of finite, small type of interactions that I do with other people around me. I heard about this guy who apparently there's a trading firm. Okay, there's a trading firm that invited this one trader, and they invited them because it's part of the family. Because they're, I mean, when somebody is being invited to a world of incredible compensation, it is they're giving them a ticket. It's a golden ticket. It's a golden ticket to enter into a society of abundance. Okay, it really is. It's an invitation to join a club of individuals who are highly compensated for the work that they do. Okay, that's what trading consistency and profitability provides. So I was walking out of this building today to go to work, and I thought to myself, okay, so is it consistency or profitability? Okay. Then I thought to myself, okay, so I can lose consistently, but profitability is inherently consistent profitability, right? That's what it is. So then reality hits, and the biting reality comes knocking on my door after all the dreams of the possibilities of everything, and removing myself from this situation. And how do I do that? Okay, so then I thought to myself, okay, so I'm currently doing a 5K challenge. Okay, the 5K challenge has been a repeat of what I did last week with the 10K challenge before I went into a comatose kind of a situation on a Friday where it just completely obliterated any plan that I had. Okay, it completely erased it. It completely erased because something happened to my mind that caused me to get into this psychological twist, which allowed me to get into this tilt, latched into tilt, and just completely obliterated any gains that I had. But the interesting thing is this. I was able to, with a pre-formatted kind of a strategy, okay, with a understanding of the psychological preparation for getting that, undertaking it with a 10K account, I was able to achieve a plus 4%. Okay. Then what I've noticed is that the same plan as I executed today for this week actually does work. Okay, it does work. It does work, and I was able to duplicate that on my 5K account, which means that which means that I can take this solution that I have created and then transport it over to the 50K account. Uh, now Now, the 5K is where I am. It's the earth. It's the biting reality of my existence right now. It's the 5K, which I should have started a long time ago instead of dabbling into like the 100K or 50K or something like that before even I was not even ready for that, and I dabbled into it. It cost me a lot of money. Back then I was washing dishes and stuff like that for 6 nights a week, and so was it? Yeah, I think it was like 6 nights a week, and I was able to acquire the funds to be. I was able to splash it around, even though I was a dishwasher. Okay, because I was essentially living out of my car, and living out of my car, the expenses are small. Okay, compared to living in an apartment these days. Living in an apartment is, I mean, it is. I don't know how people do it. You literally have to have 3 jobs in order to live in an apartment these days. Okay, I mean, even people who are professionals require 2 jobs to live comfortably. I mean, it's crazy how. I mean, here's the situation. So you have these people. There's like firms. who have these like who buys houses. And so people like myself can donate, can invest 20 bucks and pool it together to buy a house. Okay, what that means is people like myself are keeping myself out of buying a house because it's inflating the house of the house anyway. But that's how it works. That's the crazy world we are living in. So the houses are going higher and higher and higher because the people who have 20 bucks to their name are putting that money into investment to make 5 bucks out of it. Anyway, so but in totality, what it's doing is it's drying up houses, and all the house prices keep increasing. Okay, that's the plan. That's the master plan that everybody has, and I mean, anyway, so that's how it works. Okay, so then I thought to myself, that's the biting reality that I am in, which is the 5K world, which I'm I'm barely able to like afford. Okay, as a Catholic, and I was fortunate enough while I was working as an engineer, but it was too demanding for me. I was taking care of my parents. I was building my daughter's shed. I was doing church work. I was giving blood. I was working. I was doing all sorts of things, and I was stretched very very thin. And so I wasn't eating very well. I mean, it was like, it was any chaotic to put it to the least. And I was going through some serious emotional adjustments to realize that my parents were indeed like they're gonna pass away soon. So the biting reality right now, as a prep cook, the $30 to afford a 5K challenge is the biting reality of my existence right now, because it is essentially an entrance into the world where I'm knocking on the door. Okay, the Lamborghini that's knocking on my door, that 5K is knocking on my door. Okay, and I mentioned this in the past, is that there is a point where I have to cross this bridge, and the bridge is called the 10K. Okay, the 10K, the 5K provides me with a sufficient amount of gains to buy something small. Okay, that's what the 5K is, such as buying the 10K challenge. It allows me to do that. The 5K does that. Then the 10K allows me to buy something a little bit bigger, but it's not sustainable. It's not big enough for me to incorporate it fully into my life, where the profits from the 10K can support my lifestyle, right? And so essentially, the 5K is the proving ground. The 10K platform is the bridge that gets me to the other side. Okay, to Eden. Okay, it's the bridge to Eden. The 10K is the bridge to Eden. And so the 10K has the ability to acquire enough to pay for the 50K challenge. Okay, paying for the 50K challenge roughly about somewhere around $300. Okay, it costs about $300 to buy the challenge, and doing that with the 5K challenge is, it's difficult. It's very very difficult. It's apparently it's roughly about 8%, because the platform takes 20%. 20% of that. So essentially, I have to make 80% in order to get the 60 to afford something, right? So that means that it makes it easier for me if I were to. So essentially, what that 10K is, it is a bridge that connects me from the 5K to the 50K, because it proves, once I get once I'm consistent with that, it delivers me to the 50K, because the outcome and of the positive outcome of the 10K will deliver me to the 50K, which is essentially somewhere sitting around 250 to $300. And a lot of the platforms are that way. It's the 50K platform challenge is about 250 to $300. Okay, and the 100K is about $500 across the board, roughly about 500 bucks. And then the 200K is roughly about $1,000. Okay, 1,000 bucks around there. And so that means when I get the 50K though, $500 is easily attainable. Okay, because it's $500 is essentially 1%. $500 is 1% of 50K. And so achieving 1%, which I have been doing uh, consistently with the 5K, which the 10K will prove it out and deliver me to the other side, will be easier for me to do. And so acquiring that kind of sum of money is going to be a substantial thing. Think about this. It's like 500. If I make 1% on a 50K, which is essentially like 1 month, okay? If I say that at 1 month, that's almost a rent. It's like a rent. It pays for essentially the $500 pays for everything that I need right now, okay? Because as a prep cook, and I'm so fortunate that I'm being paid well, okay? The hours that I work and the expenses that I have is roughly about $500. Okay, so that means that I can pay for my lifestyle to support my lifestyle with my trading once I get to that 50K with that even just 1% per 1 month, which is an astounding thing. Okay, and so the 10K does not meet that criteria of providing me a lifestyle that I can consistently count on, but something that is right there to the other side, or the shoreline of this island, this paradise called Eden. Okay, the paradise called Eden, the shoreline, the sandy beach of that is the 50K, and the 50K will allow me to enter into the interior of this Eden, the paradise God had created, the perfect world that all my dreams are knocking on the door saying, hey, this is Lamborghini knocking on your door. I know you're not going to buy a Lamborghini, but I'm just in your dreams knocking on your door. Okay. So what is realistic? Okay. For me, I don't mind driving what I have. Okay. Because I thought about it. I thought to myself, well, maybe I should get a brand new car or something like that. Uh, but um, but I have been a horrible husband. I have been a horrible father. And what I want to do, okay, what I want to do when I get there is that my happiness comes from making my children and my ex-wife happy. Okay, so that's it. Okay, even if my ex-wife marries somebody else and lives in a paradise, but if she needs something from me and I give that to her that makes her happy, then that's fine with me. That's perfectly fine with me. Okay, because I want nothing but happiness for those people that I truly and deeply, very, 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 very deeply care for. Okay, and I want them to be. There's two sides. Okay, there's always two sides. I was telling this coworker today. I said, Jesus was hanging on the cross, and one, both were thieves. Okay, one of them is a hardened thief. Okay, and would not accept Jesus Christ and just probably will go to hell. The second one, uh, softened his heart and accepted Jesus and will join Jesus on paradise. Eden is a paradise. Okay, Eden is a paradise. Okay, I am innocent. As God as my witness, I am innocent. Okay, look what this current situation is. I'm having to work part time as a prep cook in order to pay for my father's medical bill and funeral costs, okay? While these siblings took everything, all the estates, my mother's estate, my father's estate, they took it, okay? And I was left holding a criminal record and then getting fired from the occupation that I had, okay? So I'm telling you, and honestly as possible, uh, and I told this to, I tell this to like these probation officers, the supervisors. I tell them, look, I'm innocent, and they get incredibly upset. They get very, very upset. They get their face turns red. They shake and they get enormously, very, very violent. Okay, why? I don't know why. I'm just telling them, look, I'm innocent, but they get incredibly upset and violent. Okay, because in their mind they're saying this guy's guilty and he's saying he's innocent, and so that's why they're so upset. But in me, what I'm saying is, hey, I'm innocent. That's why I'm saying I'm innocent. Okay? But they don't see it that way. They're very violent. Okay? They get very, you can see the hate pouring out of their pores. Anyway, so essentially what that's going to happen is that, so the consistency is being achieved on this side of the bridge, okay, with the 5K, okay, because the cost is low and things like that. Of course, I could do it with a, uh, of course, I could do that with a free trial, but a free trial is essentially just testing things out. It's really not meant for truly proving things out, okay, on a smaller scale. So the 5K is a smaller scale on this side of Eden, okay? On this side of Eden, I'm using the 5K to prove things out, okay? So once I prove it out and I get some payouts for the second time around, because I did that last year with the 5K, it's been quite a while. It's like July or August or something like that. It's almost a year, okay? It's been almost a year. It took that long to finally figure out that what I was doing was I was doing it right, but I didn't know why, okay? I didn't pinpoint exactly why. So then achieving consistency with the 5K is becoming consistent on this side. And then what I'm doing is building a bridge. Building a bridge is becoming is essentially getting payouts from the 10K. The payout from the 10K is delivering me across the bridge where the 10K is the bridge. The name of that bridge that delivers me, that connects me, okay? The name of the bridge that connects me from this side of Eden, which is the 5K account, is the 10K account, is the bridge that connects me. The bridge that takes me to Eden is called the 10K account. And once I get there, the shoreline essentially is the 50K account, and the 50K account will transport me within footsteps of all imaginable dreams and possibilities that I could ever think about. And I told this coworker of mine, today, I said, do you know why bank robbers get caught? Okay, because they talk. They can't keep a secret. Okay. Okay. Becoming a profitable trader in the market is like being a bank robber. Because the market is a bank, okay? And if I'm good at it, I can take money out of it legally, okay? But it seems like it because it's so hard to take money out of it. So when I get to that, and then as I was walking out of the restaurant, okay, after I did my 4 hours of work, I told him, do you feel like a billionaire, or are you a billion? Okay, do you feel like $1 billion? Do you feel like $1 billion, or are you $1 billion? Okay, why am I saying that? Because the possibilities is endless. Okay, the way that the market can be scaled is so tremendous, because the solutions upon top of a solution, on top of a solution, on top of the solution can get higher and higher and higher. It can open up a whole new world. It's a perfect world God had opened up. Okay? Through God, all things are possible. It is Eden. Okay? So I thought about that today. So what happens is this, and I'll give you a geographical location of what Eden is. Sure, God created it for Adam and Eve, okay? And so what happens is, for the 20th, what is that now, 20th century or whatever it is, 21st, 22nd century, whatever it is right now, right? 2000, what's the year today? What's the year? 2026, right? It's the 21st century. We are in the 21st century right now, right? 21st century, 22nd, 21st century, okay? So that means in the 21st century, when the original placement of Adam and Eve occurred at the dawn of humanity, when God created Adam and Eve, okay, to be placed in this perfect world where they chewed on this apple, okay? I just bought an apple today. I bought 2 apples. It's a cosmic crisp. It was crispy. It definitely was crispy. It was good. And so God placed Adam and Eve in this perfect world. And then now I'm living in this world where I'm trying to get back to it. Okay? Because man had ruined it by creating that original sin. Okay? Okay? Listening to that snake and taking a bite of that apple. Okay, that's sin. Okay, whatever that sin was, the original sin. Okay, disobeying God's orders and not to eat of that fruit, but ate of the fruit and was kicked out of the Eden, right? Now, as a man, I am a man, okay? Okay? I have been castrated throughout living life, okay? Because I got C's, straight C's out of school, and I was dysfunctional. I'm not able to like get good grades, and I wasn't able to hold up jobs and things like that. And it took me more than 5 years to figure something out about what trading is, but I am a castrated man, okay? Whatever manhood that I have, there's a lint seed of manhood left in me, okay? Is it called a linseed or something, right? I think it's called a, is it a linseed or something, whatever it is. So that's the reality. Okay, so now I'm imagining the possibilities that God had created. Now I'm embarking on a travel from where I am to re-enter into Eden. Okay, okay, and that happens this way because I thought about this. I thought about this. In order for me to like get something to eat these days, I have to use money. In order for me to like get medical help, I need money. In order for me to like get a pair of shoes, I have to have money. I mean, it's a deliverance. It's a support system that allows me to sustain myself to survive in this world. Okay, it's money. Okay, and so how do I get to that other side where something else worries me, something else that I can worry about aside from money? Okay, because my tires are balding. It's nearly bald. I was fortunate enough to use the tax money to pay for this new computer, but I mean, I was trying to get something far better, but I had to compromise and get the cheapest one. But the cheapest one is still far, 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 far faster than the one that I had 10 years ago. Okay, because this is like 22 cores or something like that. So the reality of this now I'm moving towards it into Eden. Okay, and I want to move into this Eden of God's creation, where Adam and Eve used to be. Okay, before they got kicked out of there by committing this original sin. But now I'm trying to get there, and I can see in a imaginary, dreamy kind of world, which is essentially is playing around with the 5K account to hone my skills to get to the other side where I can live in this world where I have control over the finances of truly being a world where essentially the world is my oyster. Okay, I kept talking about this like many years ago, but the reality finally has dawned on me. Okay, there are people who are traders who are like traveling around the world and things like that. They can afford exotic cars. They can afford homes. They can actually move into an apartment. Okay, it's so expensive living in an apartment. They raised it so much because you got tens of millions of illegal aliens who have 2 to 3 jobs and they're living in apartments where that's why they're raising the price of the apartments. The home prices are going up because people who are like Airbnbs and there's people like who buy like thousands and thousands of homes. Corporations are buying homes, and so they're locking people out. And so in order to survive in that, then this side with whatever resources that I have is that 5K challenge. And then once I get paid out from the 5K challenge, then I can use that to buy a bridge. I can buy a bridge, and that bridge is called the 10K challenge. Okay, then once I cross that bridge, which is the 10K challenge, passing it means that I'm actually getting a payout from the 10K, and 10K has the leverage that allows me to get payouts in a higher amount, which allows me to purchase something bigger, but not to sustain my life, but something that allows me to buy something even bigger, which is the 50K account. Okay, the 50K account. The 50K account is essentially the sandy beach. It's the sandy beach of Eden. Okay, the 50K account is the sandy beach. Where the palm trees and things like that are the 100K account. And then if I go a little bit more into the interior of it, the 200K account will provide me with sufficient amount of lifestyle that will be envious to mankind. Okay? But within the interiors of it, the central point, the castle, the 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 fountain of wealth. Okay, the fountain of wealth within the entry point of it is pointing skywards to an ever higher and higher amount, is awaiting. But first, I need to cross that bridge. Okay, makes sense? I hope so.